So about 2 months ago, I started an I Tried It series where I try out side hustles found here on YouTube to see whether or not they actually work and whether you guys can make a little bit of extra money from them. The response to this series has been absolutely huge. However, I've also gotten a ton of comments asking me what actually works. I want to say welcome to the day and age in which the biggest form of money will come from monetizing your individuality. To start off this conversation with you guys and to get into this video, I want to say first things first is to look in the mirror and ask yourself, what is it that I do well? What is it that makes me me? And I'm not talking surface level here. I'm talking about a very deep and broad range of things that make you you. What is it that you do well? Do you argue well? Perhaps you're very analytical. Maybe you're very funny. Maybe you're just a very positive person, or maybe you're a really negative person. What is your individuality? And in this video, I want to teach you guys how to monetize that. Okay, you guys, so specifically, I am talking about YouTube. So for those of you out there who have been wanting to start a YouTube, but you have a ton of negative thoughts that possibly come to your mind when you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, I want to give you guys a recipe that I've put together myself that I have followed myself in order to be successful on YouTube. With that being said, I know that there are many areas of YouTube that may hold my audience or the audience back from actually starting their own channel. Many of these things are things like editing a video, making a thumbnail, appearing on a camera, that's intimidating. Doing that SEO and keyword research, how do you even do that? There's tons of things that may appear in your mind to hold you back because you just don't know where to get started. And I know because I've been there. Whenever I started my channel 3 years ago, I have 2 channels. When I started 3 years ago, I had all of those things come to mind. I didn't even know how to actually cut and clip and paste clips together for YouTube. So I've had to teach myself all of these things that you may have come to your mind that holds you back from actually starting. But with that being said, today's world is so different than it was even 3 years ago, and there's many ways to improve the skills that you may need to monetize that individuality on YouTube. I want to mention first things first is one of the most major resources that I've used myself that I recommend is a website called Skillshare. Now, if you've not heard of Skillshare, it is a platform with thousands of online classes on a large variety of topics. Specifically though, YouTube editing, thumbnail designs, marketing, all of those things that you need to start a channel. So if you're looking to learn those skills, like I just mentioned, Skillshare is definitely a platform that can help. Like I stated before, I personally am still learning the ropes here on YouTube, and Skillshare is something that I personally use to increase my skills for video editing, thumbnail design, scripting, how to put a YouTube video together. It's something that I've personally been able to utilize and get a lot of great benefit from it. On Skillshare, I've personally completed a class from MKBHD recently that was all about video editing, scripting, how to do your YouTube thumbnail, all of that. I have found it extremely helpful and I highly recommend that specific class. However, Skillshare doesn't just have classes for YouTube editing. They have a multitude of other type of classes that you can check out and learn from, and Skillshare was kind enough to offer the first 500 people who click my link in the description box down below a free 1-month 30-day trial to check it out, see what you can get out of that 30 days. If you don't like it, if you don't find that you're finding value from it, you are able to cancel in that 30-day period and not have to pay a single penny. So it really is a win-win situation, you guys, and I highly recommend you guys get on there, utilize that 30-day free trial, and get what it is that you need to learn out of the way. These classes have really helped me overcome some things that I've been intimidated by, and I know that it can really help you as well. All right, now let's dive a little bit deeper into that recipe. So the first part of this recipe is about a cup of individuality, and like I stated before, if you haven't noticed from my channel alone, I really truly believe that people are tired of the same old thing, and my personal perception is that people really value the individuality of new channel. When I think about it myself, that's also what I personally value. So if you think about it this way, if you have a producer, a production company who produces the same movie over and over and over and over, just changes up the actors, how many times are you going to go check that out in theaters? Probably not that many times, because you're tired of watching the same thing over and over and over. This is specifically what I'm talking about when it comes to YouTube and individuality. Look within yourself Find that cup of individuality and what it is that you bring to the table, because everybody's different. So everybody has that cup of individuality that you can add into the recipe for YouTube. Okay, the next part of the recipe is going to be commitment. Now, this part of the recipe and how successful you can actually be on YouTube is going to depend on the amount of commitment that you pour into your YouTube channel. If you just want to do it for a hobby, you're not really looking to make it a business, you can pour about a half a cup of commitment and the recipe may not turn out as well. Or you can pour in that whole cup of commitment. Start your own small business with this and really make it successful. So to be successful on YouTube, I firmly believe you need to have that cup of commitment. It's very important. It's very vital, because in the beginning, you may only see a few views on your channel. You may get disappointed and that may cause you to quit. Don't quit. That's the whole point. You need that commitment. Now, I want to share a little secret here whenever it comes to YouTube, because what I've noticed with my personal channel and other channels as well is that when you first start out a channel, in the older days, whenever people on YouTube would recommend, just upload, your first 3 uploads are going to be crappy videos anyways. Who cares? Just upload. That's great advice, but something I've personally noticed is new channels, YouTube's kind of giving them a boost in the very beginning. So the first 2, 3, 4 videos, YouTube's really boosting new creators' content. So I personally don't recommend just throwing out content, your first 3 videos being crappy. I think that you need to utilize that initial boost that YouTube is giving you and really put out 3 valuable videos, because if you can really grow your audience right there at the beginning, you can get monetized really quickly. So I want to recommend, again, go back to Skillshare, learn what it is that you need to learn, because in order to really boost your channel at the beginning and get that boost at the beginning and get that head start, I would suggest producing 3 really good videos in the beginning. All right, the next part of the recipe is scaling your ability. So if you're new to this, you're going to really need to learn how to do this. You're going to need to know how to edit a video, how to create a thumbnail, do your research on your topics, all of those things. Additionally, learning the ropes of click-through rate, watch time, satisfaction of the viewer. Those are all very important things that you're going to need to learn about in order to boost your channel forward. So it is an initial investment to start the channel, but let me tell you, does your channel have huge potential for growth and to really make some money with it? Absolutely yes. It is important that the viewer clicks onto your video. So in order to get the viewer to click on your video, you must invest time in thumbnail creation and title of video. Those 2 things are important because it's the preview of the content that you're offering them. So ensure that it's something that your viewers are wanting to click. You have to invest time in learning about your viewer, and that's going into the next portion of the recipe. So the next part of the recipe is adding in a cup of strategy development. In further detail, this means that you must, and let me say that again, you must learn about the viewer. Learn about the person that you're making the content for. Place yourself in the viewer's shoes. What is it that my viewer wants to see from this content? So place yourself in their shoes, place yourself in their head. What are they thinking? What type of questions are they looking to get answered? So for example, if you have a car washing channel and the title of your video that you're planning is going to be, what is the best way to wash your car? Think about the viewer who is typing for that video. What type of situation could they be in exactly that would cause them to search for that video? And then answer the questions that you would want answered if you were searching for that content. Perhaps they want to know about what is the best sponge to use, what is the best cleaner to use, what is the best way to get rid of water drops on your car after you've washed the car, because your spouse doesn't like those water drops and you don't want to hear your spouse talk about the water drops on the car. So my whole point here is place yourself in the viewer's shoes. And this is going to help you with strategy development on your channel. This is going to help you plan videos for the future. A great way to do this and to find exactly what it is that your audience may be searching for is to utilize YouTube's new research tool in the YouTube Studio that allows you to see what exactly is your audience looking for. Look for keywords that your audience may be searching for and create content around that topic. That is a surefire way to make sure that you're using the right strategy. Okay, the last part of my beginner recipe is going to be a cup of action. So this one is pretty self-explanatory. However, I'm gonna go over it with you guys. Take that action that you need to do the best job that you can do in the position that you're currently in. Take the action to plan out your first video and begin working on it. Utilize that free trial with Skillshare. Invest that time that it takes to learn the skills to monetize your individuality, because when you do that and when you're able to actually become you, love you for who you are, and monetize that, there's nothing more freeing than that. If you have any questions for me about starting a YouTube channel, what it is that I did on YouTube, what you could do, something I didn't mention in the video that you have a question about, please leave me a comment down below. I will get back to you. As always, thank you guys so much for your support. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye-bye.